What's up, y'all? It's Alexiana. Welcome to the Lexi Show. Now, this video right here, all I'm gonna say is before I start filming, if you're triggered by child abuse and stuff like that, and stuff happening to children and stuff like that, please click off this video right now because this video is not for you. But in today's video and stuff like that, I'm just gonna be telling y'all about what one of my exes had said about a little girl's genitalia. So let's get into it. Now, in no way is this guy, I'm sorry, that guy had distracted me. Now, in no way, like the guy that I used to date and stuff, in no way is he an rapist. In no way he is that. It's just the thing that he had said, it just really just alarmed me and stuff, and I just want to just share it with y'all. So just let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna rewind back to 2020. Like, y'all know what happened in 2020: coronavirus, lockdown, masks, all that stuff. So I met him around 2020. We're gonna call him Leon. We're gonna call him Leon. And he was a handsome dude or whatever. He was tall, because you know I like him tall. Like, tall men make me feel protected. But he was tall, skinny, he was cute or whatever and stuff like that. And I hate to throw this in there, but for lack of a better term, he was a rug addict. Just put a D in front of it. He was a rug addict. And all I can say is I was 23, young and dumb, desperate. He was the first guy to show me attention, and I jumped ship. That's all that was. Like, you live and you learn. Will I ever go through that again at 29? No. But hey, whatever. And I always bring this story up to my dad all the time. And my dumb ass 23-year-old mind at the time, I thought he needed some positive influence in his life and stuff like that, and he possibly changed his ways and kicked the habit. Boy, was I wrong. That nigga stayed doing that shit and stuff like that. And my dad even pretty much told me, like, he has a saying that goes, if you haven't changed your life by the time you're 35, pretty much you're gonna go to the grave like that. And at the time, the dude was 36. So, honey, if the dude ain't kicked the habit by the time he was 36, he ain't never gonna kick the habit. So yeah. And I'm not ashamed to admit it and stuff like that. Like, my daddy probably don't even know him. My daddy probably don't even know this. I don't even think I told my daddy. But I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've taken him to get his rugs before. Like, I remember we went to some house and stuff like that in Tifton, Georgia. Like, how we met, let me tell y'all how we met. Okay, so I remember I worked at this chemical plant, which we're gonna call Stacy's Chemicals. I remember I went to like this place that helps you find jobs and stuff like that. It was called Labor Finders, and pretty much they had hooked me up with the job and stuff like that. Because I remember at the time I was in the process of changing the job that I was currently working at, because they had something called swing shift, and a bitch cannot do swing shift. I like working one shift and that's it. I don't like, you know, flip-flopping all over the place. So yeah, at the time I was in the process of changing a job that I liked, but the swing shift shit had me fucked up. So I remember I was in the process of changing jobs and stuff, and I happened to land on Labor Finders and stuff, and you know, I did the paperwork and stuff like that, and they had hooked me up with Stacy's Chemicals and stuff. And I remember after I had quit the job that I was working and stuff like that, I remember they told me to go to Stacy's Chemicals for orientation. And I remember when I was at that orientation and stuff like that, I remember we was in this like conference room and stuff like that, and I was at a table and stuff like that with all these people and stuff like that, and he actually happened to be sitting across from me. Like, he was a couple chairs down, but he happened to be sitting across from me and stuff like that. And I remember once the meeting was over and stuff like that, he pretty much came and talked to me and stuff and asked me, can I give him a ride home? So, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking with this head down here as opposed to this head on my shoulders, and had I would have thought with this head on my shoulders, like, I probably would not have gotten the predicament that I was in, but whatever, you live and you learn. he was kind of cute, so he asked me for a ride home, so I gave it to him and stuff like that. And I introduced myself. I said, "Hey, my name is Dontavius." And he said, "Yeah, my name is Leon," and stuff like that. And bing, bam, boom, that was that. And I remember, you know, I don't know what it is about gay men and stuff like that. It's just like, we have what you call, some of us, not all, some of us, we have what you call a very good gaydar, which means like we can tell if a man's gay from a mile away. Like we can tell, like how I can tell is like by the things that he says, his mannerisms, the things he like sexually and all that stuff. Like that's how I can tell. So I don't know how I picked up on it, but I just did. I remember, you know, just texting him back and forth and stuff like that, and he came back with, "I want to chill with you," and I'm like, okay, like he want to chill with me. I'm thinking, oh, this bitch about to get some D. Like, yes, honey. Like, girl, I was ready to get bust down Tatiana, honey. I was. So I remember I had pulled up. He was staying with his mom at the time and stuff like that. And I remember I had pulled up and stuff like that. And long story short, we chilled, but it wasn't the kind of chilling I was looking forward to. But that's a whole nother story time. Now, let's fast forward to the part of, like, what really had alarmed me about something that he said. But before I get to that, I want to say, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like I said, I don't even think I told my dad this or my family this ever. But, like I said, he was a rug addict, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I have actually taken him to get his rugs before. Like, when we had first met and stuff like that, I remember I gave him some money to get his rugs and stuff. We pulled up to some kind of ghetto apartment complex and stuff, and he went in some apartment and got some rugs. And I remember there was another incident and stuff like that where we had pulled up to some kind of trailer in Tiffin, Georgia, and he had got some rugs. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Would I do that now at my big grown ass age at 29, almost 30? No. But yeah. So let's get back to what alarmed me about something he said. So, like I said, this is back in 2020 and stuff like that, and at the time, if you live in Tiffin, Georgia, and you're watching this video, I don't know if y'all remember about what happened to that little girl, like that little black girl that was S8 and stuff like that. She was 9 years old. I think she was killed, I'm not sure, but yeah, this was around the time that happened, like a little 9-year-old black girl. She was S8 and stuff like that. And I remember it was time for us to go home. Like, we were working and it was time for us to go home, and I remember he was having a conversation with a coworker, and this is what he said that really made me look at him sideways. He had said, he brought up the man that had S8 the girl. He was like, "Hell, I don't understand why they want to mess with a little girl anyway. They pussy tight as hell." Pardon me? Excuse me? What the fuck did you just say? Girl, that had turned me all the way off when he said that. Like, granted, he probably, you know, didn't mean anything by it, but still, I remember I had told this story to my sister, and he probably didn't mean anything by it and stuff like that. Maybe he was just, you know, just talking just to make a statement, but still, how would you know that? And it makes me wonder, have you messed with any little girls in your time? Like, maybe not, but still, that's alarming. Like, why would a grown-ass 36-year-old man be commenting on how tight a little girl's genitalia is? Like, that shit just turned me all the way off. Like, with me and stuff like that, I could never in my life look at a little boy and talk about his genitalia. Like, I could never do that. Like, that shit will turn me all the way off. Oh yeah, I could never look at a little boy and stuff like that and talk about how tight his genitalia is and stuff like that. Like, I could never do that. Like, that's just ugh. Like, I date grown ass men, not little boys. Ew. But yeah, like, that just threw me all the way off. Like, me and my sister talk about this all the time. Like, she basically said, like, granted, he just as well could have not meant anything by it, but still, how would you know that, and why would you let that come out your mouth? And it makes me wonder, like, have you messed with some little girls on the low, bro? Because that just turned me all the way off, bro. Like, that just turned me all the way off. But at the time, you know, I just brushed it to the side and just pretty much didn't pay it no mind, and still continued to date him. Mind you, he was DL at the time, but you know, my dumbass, desperate 23-year-old self decided to make it work until I couldn't anymore. So yeah, but that's a whole nother story time. So yeah, that's just about it for this video. Like I said, he just couldn't out of anything by it. Like, he was on drugs real bad and stuff like that. He did coke. Like, he was on drugs real bad. Like, you know how if you're on drugs and stuff like that, like how your brain is and stuff like that. Like, you know, it really pretty much, you don't really think straight and stuff like that. But maybe them drugs had his brain fucked up to the point where he just said some off the wall shit. But still, you don't do that, bro. Like, there's some things you don't say. It's the little things that you say that tell a lot about you, and that really alarmed me. It makes me wonder, child, if I ever had kids, I'm not gonna leave them around your ass, especially a little girl, cause butt ass, like, no, that turned me all the way off, baby. But anyways, yeah. That's just about it for this video. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to insert my social media handles over here as well in the description box down below. So feel free to add and follow me on those. So until next time, peace.